In this episode of Con Crunch Challenge, Jessie will try to prove that this My Hero Academia character is no joke at all. Welcome to the Con Crunch Challenge. One brave cosplayer will have only 2 hours to complete their cosplay project. You'll see all the tips, tricks, and hacks to getting cosplay costumes ready in time for the big con. That's why it's called the Con Crunch. It's not about making it perfect, it's about getting it done.
I'm Cheryl Sloboda, and on this episode we have Jessie.
My name's Jessie. I'm cosplayer from Denver, Colorado, and I'm gonna be working on the metal wrist bracers for Miss Joke from My Hero Academia.
After 2 years away from cosplay, what superhero quirk will they discover? Jessie, welcome to the set of Con Crunch Challenge.
Oh, thank you for having me here. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited that you're excited. In order for us to get started, you have to select your supplies from our wall of supplies. So why don't we go ahead and get started?
Oh gosh. Okay, what do I need? First thing I need is foam. Lots of it, and I'm probably gonna need more than that, but that makes circles. Maybe we're gonna be sanding for sure. Dremel, that's a Dremel. Oh, I need scissors. You can't put anything together without contact cement. I'm gonna start with that, and we'll see if I need anything else. Miss Joke is a professional hero in My Hero Academia, introduced in season 4, and her quirk is Outburst, which is the ability to make people laugh. For this project, I'm making her wrist guards, which are these pieces that she keeps around her wrist. They appear to be metal. What I am most concerned about with this project is really the amount of time. This is still a new project for me. I've never constructed a foam piece in this manner before, so I'm not really sure how long it's gonna take me. I tend to work efficiently. I have my game plan, but game plan and execution are 2 completely different things. I'm just concerned about the time crunch.
Cosplayer, you get exactly 2 hours to complete your project. No exceptions. If you're in a pinch, you can cry for help 2 times and get an assist from a fellow cosplayer. Good luck.
Evan, welcome to the set. You were previously a contestant, but now you're in the commentator chair.
Indeed,
so
the tables have turned. Yes.
I'm very excited to have you here.
I'm very excited to be here.
And Jessie, are you ready for your Con Crunch Challenge?
Nervous, but ready. I have my plan.
Awesome. All right, well, let us put 2 hours on the clock. And your time starts right now.
Right now? Right now, okay.
So Jessie is building a kind of like wrist guard, arm guard.
Yeah, so this is Miss Joke from My Hero Academia, a high school full of superheroes, and so the teachers are also superheroes. And these wrist guards, they're pretty elaborate. They're big too, they're chunky.
Yeah.
Jessie, did I hear right? You have no pattern for this?
Nope, no pattern. Hopefully just circles will do.
Okay.
Thankfully I have this nice little thing that makes circles.
It's usually a lid of a jar for me or a plate.
That's what I
same.
do too. Find the nearest
Very high tech.
closest circle equivalent.
Yeah, though I don't know if this is gonna cut deep enough for me, so if I can just get it to trace, I will be super happy. Looks like this would be better for quilters if they're using circles in their pattern.
On their fabric, you mean?
Yeah, because I guess, what do people usually use rotary cutters for? Paper or fabric?
Typically fabric, but you can use a rotary cutter on anything, really.
Yeah, so I have a rotary cutter, but I don't really use it, so. But with something like this, I feel like I need perfect circles, so having something like this that makes a perfect circle is extra handy.
What was it about this character that inspired you to make this costume?
You know, honestly, it was, I can make that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how a lot of my cosplays go. It's like, I can make that. Let's do it. Sometimes that gets me into trouble.
Yeah.
And so what are you planning to do with all of these circles?
I am planning on stacking them so I can get a solid piece of EVA foam to work with. If I can figure out what I'm doing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, that should be great. These are the biggest scissors I have ever seen.
But they work magic on that foam.
I'm sure. You know, before I even cut this, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut out my wrist area.
And so with EVA foam, it seems like the snips work better than just like normal fabric scissors or shears.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want to use your fabric scissors on this kind of plastic. It would really dull your fabric scissors really quickly.
Yeah.
But no, the snips, actually they have a spring in them. So when you're cutting, the spring action actually is helping with your hand.
Yeah.
So you're not working as hard. But the other thing is that they're made for cutting plastic, foam, any kind of like crafting material. Yeah, so you would want to use those on this kind of material rather than your good fabric scissors.
If you're lucky, the character's artist will at some point publish how tall they actually are.
Right.
You can do, if you want to, you can actually do the math. That's actually how I end up with a lot of my props is I have to calculate how tall the character is and then how tall I am, and I recalculate how big my prop's gonna be.
Mm-hmm. How are those snips working out?
I love them. I want a pair at home. Definitely gonna be doing a lot of sanding on these things though.
I'm pretty interested to see that. I've never sanded EVA foam before.
I have never worked with this grade of EVA foam. I've attempted once to work from garage mat EVA foam.
Okay.
That was super thick and a pain to work with, and the chest plate that I was trying to make out of it just did not want to bend shape the way I wanted it to, and I ended up abandoning that. I've done a little bit of work with craft foam, and that turns out, but if you want any sort of volume, you have to really layer it on, and it becomes time consuming.
You are at 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Oh my God, really?
You're doing great.
So how many of these circles are you making?
Ideally I'll have 8, because this is approximately a 1/4 of an inch, and I'd like these to be about 2 inches thick.
And so it looks like you have about 7 right now?
Is that how many I have?
I think
lost
so.
count.
I'm counting from a distance.
Yeah.
I just traced a bunch and it's like, we're just gonna cut all these out and see how this goes.
Is there a design or a decoration on the outside of these?
It appears she has bolts and or rivets on the
that'll be
tops
cool.
and bottoms. So I'm
Okay.
also gonna be using my Dremel to put those in.
We're 20 minutes in. Got another set of 8. Would this be a good time for a call for help?
Sometimes our contestants have like a plan.
Oh, perfection.
Oh,
Okay,
it
I'm gonna
really
cry
is.
for help.
Okay.
I need help cutting circles.
Circles.
Cut all the circles.
Gotcha.
I need another pair of scissors so I can work on cutting out these circles.
Oh.
Aha,
There you
yes.
go.
I'm gonna take this mat from you though.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm also just gonna cut straight through this. That way, at some point, I can get my wrist in there.
Oh, right. Yeah, you need an escape hatch. You're now at 1 hour, 30 minutes.
You're doing great. Okay, I think that's all of your circles. So I'm gonna step away.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
Now, thing I really should do is get all of these glued together. Oh, this has a brush. I'm used to using a giant can, so I'm like, with a popsicle stick.
And the trick here is that you need to have time for that contact cement to dry.
Yeah,
So
I
that
do, which
it
is why I
sticks.
messed up there.
So it has to dry first, and then you press the pieces together?
Correct, yeah. So it's
It
like,
has to get a little tacky.
Almost
Yeah.
like an epoxy.
it is very epoxy-like, yeah.
I'm just gonna make a mess, that's fine. I've only watched a couple videos of using contact cement. I know you gotta spread it really thin so you do get it.
Yeah, and that allows the air to dry it out. If you have like little puddles, what will happen is those parts don't dry. And then when you try to put the contact cement to itself, it just slides around. It doesn't really stick.
Gotcha.
Nope.
No, I think you have to stick glue to glue.
Glue to glue?
Yes.
Ah.
There you
see?
go.
Oh, yep. there it goes. See, you guys are teaching me today.
Oh, so you're starting to get that layer.
Yes. Now I gotta work on the second one. This glue is getting everywhere.
So you are at 1 hour, 15 minutes. Is this where you thought you would be at this stage, or?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Right on track.
Don't let her panic
Since
fool you.
it is my first time ever doing something of this nature, I've never done this stacked foam method. I was a little concerned about how much time this would be taking me. Stack one.
Your last cosplay that you made before this one, I understand was some time ago.
Yes. I was actually talking about the white mage. That was the last thing I was working on. The thing is, I actually didn't get to finish my white mage because the stress before the competition was a little too much. And I don't know if it maybe just took a hit on me not being able to complete it or what, but I have not made a cosplay in 2 years.
Really? Wow. What made you want to take such a long break?
I'm not really sure. I know staffing was part of it. I didn't want to have to deal with a big cosplay while working at a convention, because it's also hard to be identified as staff when you're wearing a cosplay.
Right.
Not finishing that cosplay really took its hit on me, and I couldn't bring myself to make another one for a long time.
So what kind of Dremel tip are you going to use to get started with?
I am just going to use a sanding bit, so I can really dig into these uneven edges here.
And so that's to smooth the outside of the
Outside and inside.
layers. Okay.
Yeah. Whenever you're grinding foam, please wear mask and goggles. Because this stuff is not good for you if you breathe it in.
It kicks up a lot of dust.
It looks like it actually sands off pretty well, though. My concern was that with softer materials, sometimes it doesn't really sand parts off as much as it grabs and rips pieces off.
It can. It depends on the tip that you're using, but it is a very dusty experience.
Right.
Yeah. How's it coming?
Really good so far. This is, I love this Dremel. It's hogging away material exactly like I need it to.
And you're adjusting the speed with your foot, with that foot pedal.
That is correct. But you can also hear when I really dig into the foam, you'll hear the RPM slow down.
Yeah.
Because it's slowing down to hog off more material. And this is not even close to full power.
Well, that's good.
Wow.
This runs at 20,000 RPMs at max speed.
It's starting to look really smooth from over here.
See.
How is it? Yeah.
And that one has now a little bit more give.
Totally.
Oh,
It looks
right.
way
Yeah.
better.
So, yeah.
You have 1 hour.
Okay, now that I'm sanding, it's going faster.
Jessie always strives for perfection in their cosplay, but sometimes taking a break is all you need to get back into your cosplay groove.
I got into cosplay 13 years ago. I started conventions in 2007. I just started making original characters. I learned how to, piece fabric together and make things the way I want to make them. And it's kind of almost moved into a level of professional sewing nowadays. But getting to go to the convention and show off all this hard work that I did and getting compliments on it. When people are just like, oh my gosh, I recognize your character, especially because sometimes I'll cosplay obscure characters. I'm not known for cosplaying main characters. But oh my gosh, I've never seen that one before. And I'm like, yeah, I know, nobody does this. All right, I want to do a little bit of hand sanding because I'm not completely happy with this, but I can only do so much with the
Dremel.
With the Dremel. Oh man.
Can you wet sand on EVA foam?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
Yeah,
I've
it
never
doesn't-
tried the wet sand EVA foam.
Yeah.
I think I would only recommend wet sanding if you completely sealed your foam and it is a hard, no longer malleable material.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever been mistaken for like the wrong character?
Oh, all the time. People that either don't watch as much anime or don't watch anime in general, they're like, oh, you're this person. I'm like, no. But you know what? If that makes them happy, seeing that character, even though it's not the right one, then I think that's pretty handy too.
Yeah.
All right, so now what are you doing?
I am using just the tip of the Dremel to sand in these rivets.
Oh.
Okay. Now, are you trying to go all the way through all the layers?
No, I really just want this to be a top thing. I'm just barely pushing down on the Dremel, just enough so I can get the imprint.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You'll paint those then?
Yes, I will.
Nice. And that's smart. You don't even have to change the bit on the Dremel, just the top of it.
Normally, I would measure these, but con crunch. Yay! So you can see there, it looks like I have
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That looks
rivets. And I love them.
Now, do you plan to do anything to fill in any gaps or anything like that? Or are you hoping that the paint does that?
You know, when I saw the gaps, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna address it. I think I'm gonna take a heat gun to it, see if I can press it together a little bit more, because that should give me a little bit of working room. But then I think we're just gonna have to attempt to move straight to paint from there. I don't like these little edges coming up like this.
It's amazing how much you can get done when the pressure's on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know you have to get it done.
Right, exactly.
Well, I have a rule personally now that if my cosplay is not done 48 hours before con, it either goes as is or doesn't go at all. Because a lot of cosplayers will drive themselves insane into panic attacks to get these cosplay done on time. And you know, that is part of the con crunch, but you should never ever sacrifice your mental health
Oh, absolutely.
for a cosplay.
Yeah. So tell us about the heat gun.
The heat gun will, again, when I used open cell foam, allows me to seal the foam. And also allows me to bend and shape it. Because this is a closed cell foam, I am just gonna use very low heat. If I wanna go faster, which I should probably use high heat.
And this is just to help compress those layers a little bit further?
Yes, because since I'm gonna get heat on that glue, it should melt the glue just enough to help me get these layers back together so I don't look as much like I stacked a ton of foam onto itself.
Gotcha. And don't forget, you still got one more call for help.
I do.
Cry for help, call for help. depends on how bad a state you're in.
There's no crying in cosplay.
That's a lie.
I know.
There's a lot of crying in cosplay.
That is the biggest
trying to be
lie
optimistic.
if I ever heard one. No crying in cosplay. Remember when the saying used to be cosplay is pain?
Cosplay used to, yeah. And I think a lot of that has changed. I think
It has.
more
Your
people
cosplay should
are-
be comfy now.
Yeah, your cosplay shouldn't be this, you know,
Torture.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be fun, and you should try to, you know, have a good time with it rather than making it this chore.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're onto the paint.
I am on to
painting.
paint.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm doing acrylic paint because it dries fast.
And EVA foam takes pretty well to paint.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's something about the acrylic to acrylic that, you know, bonds pretty well.
Oh, I actually really like that effect of the layered foam that this gives. I was worried that I wasn't gonna like that.
It almost looks like
Yeah.
the threading on like a screw or a bolt or something.
It looks awesome. So this gray is actually just my base coat, and I'm gonna put a silver coat over that.
Oh,
And I actually am going to use a wax paint, which is used for home decor, to give it some character.
Okay.
Nice.
You're at 30 minutes.
Half an
left.
hour.
Now I am going to put the silver layer over the gray layer, and hopefully we'll give it a more metallic look.
And are you going thinner with the silver to try and give it a little bit more of that worn look, or?
I'm not really sure. I really just want the paint to dry. I want the paint to dry, so I'm like, you know, this is how it's going on. If I get to do a second coat, that would be amazing.
Well, with 28 minutes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Would it be weird to use the heat gun to try and speed the drying process up, or would that ruin things?
I think the only thing you have to be careful about is sometimes the heat gun can affect the EVA foam layer.
Right.
So, you know, you got to be a little careful.
Because I totally would have tried that.
It's dry. See, you're right, it works.
Nice.
Keep it
Just
distance.
distance.
Yeah.
And on low if you can.
Right.
You have 20 minutes left.
Once I get this final layer of silver paint on, which this is the last layer I want to do of this, I'm going to move to the wax paint. And I'm not really sure how fast that dries, so we'll see. I'm glad I know this, that I can wash this off my hands, but it's gonna take forever to get off my hands. These turned out so much better than I hoped they would.
I'm glad you enjoy them. Again, they do look like you are going to be wearing these big, chunky, heavy looking things. You're down to 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Oh, wow. This is cool. I can't wait to see this.
I've only used this once. Actually, I got this to experiment with the white mage that I didn't finish.
Not that I'm bitter.
Not that I'm bitter.
Oh, I love how you're just putting it right on with your fingers.
Get in there.
Now you're trying to push it down into each of those rivets.
I am.
Yeah.
I want it to look like, you know, she's seen her fair share of crime fighting. So that's why instead of having these look like brand new shiny pieces, they've been used a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That really makes it come to life. Well, the brown gives it a kind of a rusty look, too.
Yeah. And what I'm finding is that this is actually pretty hard to get off happily. So I might put another layer of silver on here.
You got it.
Oh, you're
No, I'm gonna
doing
cry
good.
for help, so who wants to get dirty?
I've already done a cry for help.
Right. I might use a brush though.
That's fine.
All right. So we're putting it into these holes.
Yes.
Okay. My manicurist is gonna love this. They're gonna be like,
sure.
what did you just do to my hard work?
Finger paint like the
It
wind.
Basically.
Oh, so
What
you
I'm
want
finding
this-
is you should actually wipe it away while it's still fresh, so I'm not having to paint over as
Got
much.
it. All right.
You have just over 10 minutes.
Oh boy.
10 minutes.
He looks like dirt, like if you clean the bottom of your car.
Yum.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. Jessie, you might want to move on to your final silver coat.
Yep, I have one more rivet to go here.
Just saying. A lot can happen in 7.5 minutes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Fine, I'll just take the hooks with me.
Who put that up there?
What I'm doing is I'm just barely dipping my brush into the silver paint here and brushing it on lightly because I don't want to lose that gorgeous color of the wax paint. I really want to keep that rust look in there, but still try to give this metallic look. It's had usage.
Okay. I think.
Yes! look how rusted it looks.
The numbers have officially turned red.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Now I'll just.
but how that looks.
We'll scrub up. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Need more silver.
I mean, they really do look like metal from here.
Yeah, that's great. That's
And
the
then
goal.
that just extra bit of weathering really makes the difference. But add to the pressure.
Right.
Add to my
no pressure. We're just gonna hover and
Now
get
we're
in the way.
gonna hover. Right, loom.
Loom. Yes.
Okay. Look, I can get to the
It's
final heat.
Supportive looming.
30 seconds. Does it look like it's drying? Does it feel tacky?
I think it's actually dry.
Okay, you're
So
getting there.
I think that as soon as that clock runs out in 15 seconds,
You're gonna use every second.
I'm gonna use every little second available to me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time is up.
Tools down.
Ah, yay, you did it!
Yes! Yay! High five.
Jessie beat the challenge with time to spare and jumped back into the cosplay world better than ever. Take a few victory laps. You deserve it.
Jessie, I am so impressed that you took such a long break from cosplay, but look at how much you have accomplished for this costume in just a short amount of time.
I know, it's all done.
As a prize for completing the challenge, you get a gift card from Singer Sewing Company for $300. R&K Distributing is giving you a prize pack of their So Much Cosplay line of products. And you get a Oliso mini craft iron. So once again, congratulations, you completed the Con Crunch Challenge. Thank you.
This has been the Con Crunch Challenge. Do you have what it takes?